NSFW artists of Reddit, what is the most bizarre thing somebody asked you to draw? I stopped after this one commission. It paid a lot though, so would I do it again? I drew a man having sex with another man, and the lady told me to make sure to add emphasis on the rings around their fingers, and draw in 3 kids watching them as well as the wives of the 2 men in the picture. Last one I did was back in high school. Friend wanted their D&D character, an orc, impaling a tavern whore with his cock. /*****/ $20 was $20 back then. A guy wanted to be drawn as 3 inches tall and rooming a giant woman, but kinda falling in as well. Another wanted to be drawn hanging to death while being pegged by a correctional officer. A zombie version of John Kennedy in the limo trying to eat Jackie O. I entered a Halloween theme contest with a friend in 2017. Only rules: theme had to have dicks and Halloween. Loser would win a sushi. I drew a Rick and Morty comic in a penis world to collect jizz for their portal gun, and Rick talked Morty into wearing a penis costume for his school's Halloween costume contest. My sushi was delicious. After a weird turn of events, I was requested to draw a minion burning on a cross with other minions having a blood orgy around it. Wolf with human cunt. This is actually really common, but I do not understand it. Furries who are into ferals, quadrupedal animals, are always pretty gung-ho about dog cock, but they never want dog vagina on their otherwise dog-shaped dogs. Anthros I do not bat an eye at, but somehow drawing porn of a feral with a human vagina feels even weirder than drawing porn of an anatomically correct feral. POV, you're searching the whole thread to see if anyone was commissioned by the Wonder Bread guy. I had an artist friend over 2 decades ago. He was tasked with drawing a man masturbating in front of a dog. He laughed for the first 30 minutes of drawing it. I don't draw NSFW art frequently, but was once contacted about drawing a personal character of mine absorbing someone else's character. Didn't accept that request. Not me, but a close friend. He has a side hustle of drawing art for strangers he meets online for money and doesn't care for it, but will draw NSFW stuff if the price is right. Without getting too descriptive, a man from Kenya wanted him to draw Pokemon as Little Red Riding Hood being escaped by the president of Turkey. Funny enough, my friend did it for him since this gentleman paid him $130 for it. A portrait of his dick in his wife's mouth. Paid me $300 for it. Bet your ass I did it. LOL. It involves a lot of hot dogs in a lot of orifices. And a lot of, not orifices. Unless you count pores as orifices. All these comments making me think about selling NSFW art. Sounds like easy money. Any tips on how to start? I got a request out of the blue from a complete stranger once. A woman wanted me to draw her having intercourse with a man. She did not know who the man was yet, but if I liked the idea it could be me. I did not make that drawing. Someone asked me to draw their Fursna, a fox, having gay foot sex with fucking Raz from Psychonauts. It was bizarre to say the least, but $20 is $20. Was erotic author. Guy wanted a series of stories where he'd attack his mom, and every time he failed, she'd cut off a limb or something. He'd always pay the agreed amount on time, never had to ask twice. Not me, but a friend, not even a NSFW artist, just a regular artist, was messaged by a rando on DeviantArt who really wanted them to draw a pregnant aeroplane. We looked at their profile and their favorites folder was just filled with dozens of weird aeroplane fetish art. I'm not a NSFW artist, but the weirdest drawing I've ever been asked to make was something very reminiscent of his own mother doing something with someone that was very reminiscent of his father. Weirdest $75 I've ever made. Someone paid me $400 for Taylor Swift with a really long tongue. Like 14 inches long tongue. I don't have any story, but please someone mention the Wonder Bread guy. His request was so bad that fucking Shadman declined. Surprisingly, my lane is pretty tame. The wildest request I've gotten was for a pregnant, birthing a plane, like a literal 747, and the only reason I didn't do it was because they couldn't afford my commission prices. I once refused a bunch of photos of old dudes sucking each other off. No prejudice, but I was working at Walgreens and it was against policy to print them, women shrugging. I honestly make money making NSFW art of fat women all the time. Legit love life and will never work in retail again and will genuinely jump off a cliff to prevent myself from doing that again. Admittedly, I'm not a visual artist but a writer. I hope that counts. I was once commissioned to do a piece where Robert E. Lee, Ulysses S. Grant, and a time-traveling librarian have a three-way where General Lee is the bottom bitch. Honestly, it's my magnum opus. Not a NSFW artist, but I do draw. Lil teenage me, F, was a massive tomboy and I only really had guy friends in high school. So naturally I would draw boobies for them, or nude women in general. It was pretty fun actually, and hey, I am not gonna say no to free snacks. Once had a stranger fangirl ask me to draw dream SMP porn. And overall just the amount of PPL asking for NSFW of real PPL. Like damn ya, I just wanna draw innocent safe for work fan art of comic book characters. Someone requested I draw their furry OC in an outfit from a popular sci-fi movie, with giant balls that were actually breasts and have the nipples perking through the fabric ** and ** a tented boner. I declined. Honestly, I'm lucky in that mine never got all that weird. Just various sometimes furry characters having sex or doing sex-adjacent acts in various positions. Most complicated definitely goes to the one that had me Frankenstein a pose reference out of 6 different reference images to create the incredibly specific position they wanted though. Someone straight up asked me if I could draw their nudes and got pissed when I said I wouldn't. I make plush eyes. One person asked me to make a Pokemon with huge breast and wearing a diaper. Honestly, I don't care people asking me weird stuff as long they are willing to pay the price I ask for, since handmade plush eyes are no cheap. Sadly, the person never replied after I gave them my price broken heart. Another person paid me a commission to make a King George plush with genitals. They loved their plush. A 3-headed, Disney's, Pluto / Cerberus humping regular dog Pluto. Commissioned by my now wife. Not me but my buddy. Years ago I asked him the worst thing he had to draw, 2 of his favorite characters from 2 different animes engaged in Yara. He did it because it was like $500 but he cried during part of it and drank at least $50 of the payout. I helped him drink some of it because you can't let a friend suffer alone. I had a friend who created a sort of gothy gay comic in the 90s. To supplement his income he'd do commissions. Someone paid him to write and draw several issues of a comic book called Diaper Boy about an older man and younger, but legal-aged, man who per the title wore and often soiled his diaper. It was truly great work. A dragon fucking a castle and coming through the window onto another spire. Honestly, I don't remember if she asked for it or we were just joking around and I just drew it and forced it on her. It got a laugh, so I'll call that art.